Just when you think you've seen all the terrible things you possibly could see on this website, a new fighter enters the ring, and the fighter in this case is a YouTuber named ImAllexx. Now, if you don't know what happened, ImAllexx was recently accused of being a horrendously mentally and physically abusive partner to his ex-girlfriend. An 82-page document that contains videos, text, stories have all been released, and the evidence is pretty damning, to say the least. The most alarming piece of evidence in the entire thing being this one.
I don't know what to call what you did. It was weird. It's always weird. You always take the fucking weird route. Just do the normal route, which is just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend.
Yeah,
would do,
acting
and go,
like
I
this
didn't-
is
I didn't
all
mean
just
it.
me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you fucked this, royally fucked this.
I think it's really important that we as people consider both sides of the story, especially in these days where anything could be faked, especially with AI out now. But after watching that video and the sheer amount of evidence in that document, I honestly don't think there's a world that I believe anything ImAllexx says. And I honestly don't think there's a world where anybody believes anything that ImAllexx says. Now, I want to dive a little deeper into the document because the videos I showed you were just the tip of the iceberg. The document actually starts off with a trigger warning and then goes into their backstory a little bit. The TLDR is that they started dating a year ago. Things were great, things were going good, and then as time went on, things slowly started getting worse until it was just unbelievably toxic. Obviously, some very heavy and serious stuff. Now, it gets much worse, believe it or not. There are screenshots of text where ImAllexx is calling her a retard, saying he doesn't care if she cries or not. Pretty fucking awful shit. You don't need me to tell you why that's awful. And there's also screenshots of Alex telling her to die. She mentions in the document that she actually suffers from severe depression, which I'm sure Alex knew about at the time of that conversation, which makes the whole thing even worse. Again, I don't need to be the one to spell it out. Telling someone with mental health issues that they should die is fucking terrible. Now, he also threatens to do some pretty fucked up things to her. I mean, it's overall a pretty messed up situation, and it's heavy. I'm not gonna go through all the text in this document because honestly, I'm not gonna add much to it, like other than just saying that it's terrible, because that's what it is. But I do want to go back to what I said earlier, where I talked about considering both sides of the coin, because I think with most commentary channels making this, the video on this topic right now, they're missing, I think, a pretty interesting factor that I don't think a lot of people are considering. So I think it's pretty possible that ImAllexx and his ex Alice were equally as toxic to each other. There's some text in the document that kind of make me believe that this might be the case. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing any of the behavior that was shown in the document at all. I think it's all terrible, but it could possibly give us more context to this situation, which I think is important in a scenario like this. There's two things in the document that are a little iffy with me. The first one being the date that she started posting this evidence. So if you look in the document, you'll notice that the last modified date for the earliest video says May 11th, 2023. But in her text document, she mentions that she started jotting things down and recording his behavior after they moved in together. Later in the same document, she mentions that they moved in together on October 15th, 2023. Obviously, this isn't a huge deal. I just think it's a discrepancy worth mentioning. The thing that's on the iffy side for me is that she started posting evidence to Google not even 2 months after they started dating. Now, I'm not gonna be the guy to sit here and be like, well, why didn't she just leave him? Because that would be fucking incredibly ignorant of me to ask a question like that. And I'm sure as hell not gonna act like I know their situation well enough to even think of asking a question like that. But something about her starting to collect evidence and post it on Google not even 2 months after they started dating sits a little iffy with me. Now, this might not be linked, obviously, but she mentions earlier in the document, at the very beginning actually, that she was threatened by Alex to not come out with any of this information, which makes me think that she has threatened him in the past to come out with this situation. Again, I am speculating here. I want to make sure that I cover both sides of the coin. Just consider all possibilities. The second thing that sits a little iffy with me is that very few of these screenshots are continuous throughout the conversation. So each page in the document is a screenshot that has 2 individual screenshots of text messages. I found that more often than not, these 2 screenshots of text messages never coincided with each other. They seem to be handpicked from one argument, which makes me think that we could possibly be missing some extra information that would give us more context to their dynamic. There's also a text message or 2 in the document where she actually blurs out some of her text messages, which makes me a little sketched out by it, but obviously they could contain personal information. I don't know. I honestly don't. Again, I'm not saying the allegations are fake. I personally believe they're 100% real. But as I've reiterated all throughout this video, I think it's very important that we consider both sides. Now, to be completely honest, I've never liked ImAllexx personally. He always seemed like a huge douchebag to me outside of his YouTube content, so I never got into him. Especially after the Slazo situation that happened years ago, he always stuck out to me as just a sack of shit. Now, in terms of ImAllexx and his career, I'm sure the internet is gonna roundhouse kick some justice his way. I doubt he'll stop uploading videos, but I think his viewership will take a massive hit. Now, if you listen to any of the clips included in the document, it seems pretty clear that he thinks very, very highly of himself.
I don't know. Your boyfriend's a fucking famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because he has to keep his circle small. Because you might not have anything to fucking lose, because your life might be down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give.
Some real narcissistic behavior.
Yeah, like most of my friends struggle to actually understand what I'm saying. But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not.
So to say that this whole situation here doesn't surprise me is an understatement, unfortunately. Now, I hope the victim gets the closure and help that they deserve. There's no human on earth that deserves to go through something like this. It's just awful. So I really hope that things get better on her end. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.